Good evening guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. If you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we will go straight over to those charts for our Bitcoin evening wrap. So for our chart first, and would you believe it, we wicked down to basically to the dot pretty much here to our horizontal that we had drawn in from before, which is pretty much to the dot where we wick down to here, but I did actually draw this horizontal in after we did have this wick down, so obviously that was drawn to that wick. But yeah, we wicked down to basically exactly the same line again. So interesting price action to see. Obviously, as you can see, we tested the trend line. We had a weak bounce off it. We came back down, and then yeah, we basically took it out and took out the horizontal, and then came down to basically what was our next level. So this is a point where obviously I said in this morning's video, short term, this is the short-term area, this is the medium-term area, this is the long-term area. So short-term, we went, I basically expected lower once we broke here in the short-term, which we got. And obviously, I expect us to stay in here. But if we don't and we break here, then medium-term, we are looking at a longer-term, well, a medium-term downtrend. And then if we get down to here, I think we'll be looking, get through this level, I think we'll be looking at a longer-term downtrend. So that's kind of my thoughts here, but first and foremost, I do think Bitcoin will be able to hold its own within this 11k region, and like I have actually been saying, even when we were breaking above here, I was still saying that it is more likely that we do basically trade between a range here between 12,000 and 11,000, form a boxes. I always find are more rectangular boxes. I always find just happen more in price action than ascending triangles as much, and yeah, it's just how price action will like to play out. It tricks a lot of people into thinking we're in a pattern, and then it does, well, it just shows us that we are just in a rectangle. So obviously that is the case now. If we do take out this rectangle, then obviously we'll have bigger questions to ask of Bitcoin. Obviously, you can see we had the wick down below there, literally all the way down to the 11,600 and back up. We could get something similar again, but I don't think that is as likely, because this obviously happened after we had a lot of period of high volatility, so it was easier for us to get a big candle down like that. We don't have as high volatility now, therefore you wouldn't expect such a vicious wick. I mean, this is sort of as vicious as you'd expect a wick at the moment. So yeah, so realistically, it is still all looking good. The short term, obviously, I expected downside after we broke this level, and we got that downside straight away. Obviously, I'll only expect medium term downside if we get through this level, and then I kind of expect to potentially play in a range out here, maybe sideways for well, the medium term. And then if we do break here, then I think we are looking for, well, I think we're probably looking for a longer term move down. This is obviously if we close like larger time frame candles down here, down below it, rather than just wick below. So let's have a look at what those oscillators are doing now on the basis of today's price action. So yeah, 4 hour, as you can see, coming down pretty strongly, well, that's obviously going to have a chance to turn back up at some point. 10 hour turn back down. 10 hour has turned back down, so that is officially pointing down. 12 hour is up just by the skin of his teeth. So yeah, potentially if we get some upward price action, which I mean, I do kind of expect we will, in all fairness. Like I said, I expect 11,000 to hold. I do think that the overall trend is bullish. I think the more likely scenario is 11,000 holds. Therefore, I think it will hold because it's just what I think is more likely. Daily's still coming down. So daily obviously got a chance to at some point turn back up. And 2 day and 3 day are clearly going to still be coming down. So interesting to see how the weekly is looking. Yeah, weekly looking, it may cross again. But like I said, I do expect... Bitcoin to mount a bit of an effort here to get back up. Even if initially we only get up to around 11,500, the old support will be new resistance. Sorry, and then try and form a higher low, and then try and form some sort of a base under here to try and break back through. That is obviously a possibility. I mean, clearly a possibility is we lose this level, and then yeah, we are looking at 10,600, and then Bitcoin's has got some big decisions to make. If we have a look over, sorry guys, it's a bit late here over in England. Yeah, so as you can see, we have lost this trend line on the dollar index. So we didn't manage to retake this horizontal here. So I am looking for more downside now, and that will be obviously further triggered by taking out this low here. And then yeah, secondly again this low here, and then obviously thirdly this low here. But I think that domino, that cascade of events is for me the most likely chain of events to happen here. So yeah, watch out for the dollar weakness. Silver sort of hanging in there. We broke out the pennant, but we have only really been trading sideways, and we have this level here that we are currently holding. Gold similar, apart from it is a sort of it's above the level, the equivalent level that we had drawn. Sorry, it's below, as in the equivalent level we have drawn is above price, so we are below that. So yeah, gold, well, if the dollar index goes down, you would expect this to go up, and I do expect the dollar index to go down, so I do expect this to go up. Nasdaq, let's look at the Nasdaq. Yeah, so as you can see, Nasdaq, well, had a 409, but yeah, I mean, realistically, it's gonna probably come and touch the top of this trend line at some point. So that's kind of, there's not really much else to say. It's just bullish until it isn't, and it is currently very bullish. SPX just onwards and upwards. Now it has broken that level. So yeah, all we can really expect now is well, more strength until we potentially have a test back off here. I believe did we have a daily 9 coming in, or was it a 4-hour 9 that we must have had already? Where is it? It must be here. Yeah, we had that 4-hour 9 sideways to down. And yeah, once we take out the top, which we're looking at doing now, I would just expect more upside. So realistically, stock market's looking good, dollar looking weak. Gold and silver, well, they're looking good on the basis that the dollar's looking weak. I think Bitcoin holds here. Like I said from the beginning, I believe we'll form a rectangular formation that eventually we'll break out of, but not immediately. And yeah, I think we'll play this out a bit. I would be surprised to see us lose this level, bearing in mind we've made a beeline straight for it, and we look like we've got momentum to break it. But I still would be, if we start closing, like say, if we start closing daily candles in this zone, I would be surprised basically. Wicks below, yeah, fine, if that is what's going to happen, but I don't expect we're going to close like 12-hour dailies in here. And if we do, it isn't going to look too good, but obviously this is our last line of defense. And if you look across, it is a pretty important level in all fairness. But we would rather reverse here rather than have to come down and test that level, in all fairness. So yeah, that is it guys. A bit of a quicker video than normal because it's quite late here and I need to get some sleep. So yeah, thank you for listening guys, and remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys in the morning.